क्रिकेट खेलते समय आउट हो गया तो बैट बॉल लेके भाग जाता है वो. So we were returning and we were giggling about, the something that was happening. Rang the bell of our home and waited. The door swung open. We looked at my father and immediately हंसी बंद. खलास. We knew that अभी कदम अंदर रख रहे हैं तो ये नो फन जोन है, इधर बनने नहीं वाली, ठीक है, अभी सीरियस होना पड़ेगा. अंदर कदम रखे, वहां पे मम्मी बैठी है लाइक अ फिरोशियस मामा बेर. सो गुस्से की लहर चल रही है, कुछ तो हो गया. एंड यू नो हाउ चिल्ड्रन आर ना, इमीडिएटली पकड़ लेते हैं. हमने भी पकड़ लिया कि भाई यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं बोलना, देख लेते हैं. We stepped in closer and my mother asked us, तो बर्थडे हो गया? तो लाइक हाँ, और निकल पड़े. रूम में चेंज करने गए तो बाहर से आवाज आती है, आज डिनर नहीं पकेगा, जो करना है कर लो. तो पता है शायद ये है एंजाइटी जनरेटिंग सिचुएशन किसके लिए था, पर हम तो बच्चे हैं. फॉर अस एवरीथिंग इज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी, राइट? एंड सो वी से ओके मम्मी. ऑल दिस व्हाइल लाइक वी आर थिंकिंग अबाउट लाइक द केक दैट वी हैड, ओके, बिकॉज आई नो आई एम 40 now, I was 14 then, but my motto is still stays true. हम केक खाने के लिए किधर भी जा सकते हैं. I don't know whether that is straight with you, but for us even today, केक मिला हम हाजिर. आप पसंद नहीं है तो फिर भी ठीक है, केक सही है क्या, चुप बैठ जाओ, शायद leave it up to the Almighty, कुछ तो किया ही रहेगा शायद, right? But as kids it didn't matter. So he was silent and we just went into the kitchen, looked at each other and said fried rice, because at 14 and she's at 10, that is the only thing that we knew how to make. And suddenly there is activity in the kitchen. There's a clatter of pots and pans, raw vegetables are coming out and they are being cut into strips and cubes. जो लेफ्ट ओवर वेजिटेबल्स और राइस है वो निकल रहा है, और ये एक्टिविटी की वजह से फन जोन बन रहा है. पर फन जोन में ना वो गुस्से की लहर अभी भी आ ही रही थी. एंड दिस इज फ्रॉम अ पर्सन हु हैड सैक्रिफाइस्ड एवरीथिंग फॉर बीइंग हियर विद अस, इंक्लूडिंग फैमिली, होम, स्टेट, इवन रिलीजन. छोड़ दिया था फादर गार्गोइल के लिए. शायद तभी फादर गार्गोइल नहीं थे, पर पता नहीं, कभी पूछा नहीं. So forgive me for like not inquiring if he was a gargoyle. We are doing this and outside Father Gargoyle is like shuffling. भाई इधर देख रहे हैं, भाई वाइफ की तरफ देख रहे हैं, भाई नहीं मेरे पापा, भाई नहीं. And I know it's weird, but we are in the moment ना. ये fried rice is the only thing of our focus, and we are like going forward completely. We're like छोड़ देते, let's see. My sister is about to turn off the stove, that father comes in and he like ushers us closer, and he says, it's mommy's birthday too today. It's night, it's dinner time, we have forgotten all about it. So obviously now instead of just one father gargoyle in the kitchen, now there is one father gargoyle and two baby gargoyles, completely stone faced. And there is something that I learned on that day, maybe not then but in retrospection, that it's so easy to take our memories for granted. It's so easy to forget. In fact, this is not just about the big stuff. I'd like to see a show of hands. How many of you आज दिन कौन सा है by the way? फ्राइडे. लास्ट फ्राइडे क्या कर रहे थे ये टाइम पे पता है? Fantastic. One person. How many of you feel that 2023 ऐसे ही निकल गया? पता ही नहीं चला, निकल गया. How many of you feel that एक दिन और दूसरे दिन में ज्यादा अंतर नहीं है? Do you feel that?
Yes.
All of you like don't feel that? Oh, fantastic. I mean, not fantastic, but still fantastic. And how many of you actually use this two-word sentence too many times for me to be comfortable? Time flies. वक्त बीत गया. Interesting, isn't it? So if you can calculate time as like a finite resource, you have a point A and you have a point B, right? If time is a finite resource, right, and maybe it is the only resource that actually truly matters, if who you are today is a consequence of everything that happened in the past, if everything that you can make, including your influence and your happiness, is based on time, don't you think you should remember a little bit more of it? Yes, no?
Yes.
Cool. So I'm sure that you want to know how,
Yes.
right? I was very similar. और ये तो होता ही रहता है. So here's the thing about that story that I just told you. We feel that it is special, unique, beautiful, but these moments are in everybody's life, right? Everybody has these moments where basically they come and go, right? They're like dander in the wind. You guys know what a dander? It's like this pollen seed that it bursts and it's in the wind, right? And we don't know how to hold on to it. And even if we do hold on to it, we don't know how to store it. Correct? Yeah, so dander in the wind. Pollen, and basically we don't know how to store them. This is something that I realized on a birthday party of my father's friend. Yeah, I know, one more birthday party, na? पर केक यहाँ पर भी अच्छा था. So one thing you need to know about my father is that he is super charming, super charismatic, and he is filled with stories. And he is the life of any party that he chooses to attend. हर एक नहीं करते, but you know, most of the time he does. Even in this story, even in this situation, life of the party, he's talking about stories about how he has never missed a train. और एक बार मिस भी की थी, पर टैक्सी पकड़ के टैक्सी वाले को 100 रुपये एक्स्ट्रा दे के भगा के 2-3 ट्रैफिक लाइट तोड़ के दूसरे स्टेशन पे पहुंच के फिर से पकड़ लिया. तो अभी तक उनका बरकरार है रिकॉर्ड, राइट? कंप्लीट पीपल मैग्नेट. इन कॉन्ट्रास्ट, आई एम इन सम डार्क कॉर्नर अवे फ्रॉम द लाइमलाइट. दैट इज माई फादर. कंप्लीटली कॉन्ट्रास्ट. And sometimes someone comes my way, tries to make conversation and fail. मतलब epic fail, miserable fail. That night I was like trying to understand कि ये हो क्या रहा है, right? He's talking about interesting places, remarkable faces, God's good graces, और मुझे ये बिल्कुल समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. ये इंटरेस्टिंग प्लेस, ये सारी चीजें जो थे ना, मैं वहां पे था. आई वॉज विद हिम when he is recounting all of these stories. In those stories I'm there with him, but I can't see those interesting places, remarkable faces. अरे मैं तो दूसरी बार देखूं ही नहीं उनको. And God's good graces are all these moments that you and I have every day. So when I thought about this, I said that, bro, you can't end up like an uninteresting, uninspiring gargoyle. वरना छत पे ऐसे बैठना पड़ेगा. So inspired by a book, I decided that I'm going to try to change this. So I gave myself a task. Every night for 5 minutes, I would sit down and write a 5-minute story of that day. Every night. कल का दिन बहुत ही अच्छा था. तो some days it's more than one note. So the list keeps getting bigger. You can use an Excel sheet, a workbook, your phone, anything that you like. So, this is what my Excel sheet looks like. So let me just read one of the entries from there, which is on May 28th. This happened in my past, but it just came to me at that time. Remember Freco, a stray dog. Love, first time experience of death. The grief never fades, and that's how you honor their memory. When I'm saying this, maybe some memory connected with you. Did it?
Yes.
Something moved in here. Maybe something could be about a moment of connection. A moment where basically you learned something new, where your views changed, or या तो दिल में कुछ तो हुआ, right? You can write all of these stories every day. I've been doing this for the last 2 years. And this is one of my recipes of happiness. I don't miss a day and it's magic. आपके साथ interactions होती है ना, ये भी लिस्ट में जाती है. बोलता नहीं हूँ मैं, बोलना भी नहीं चाहिए ना. Isn't this experience, isn't this space, isn't this moment magical? Don't you think perhaps when you're on your deathbed at 111, 112, who was that? हाँ, तभी तो टेक्नोलॉजी भी बढ़ जाएगी. You would be able to do this like Iron Man and see everything that happened in your life, even if you have amnesia. It's magic. I started this, I really didn't think what would happen, but I thought that चलो करते हैं, करके देखते हैं, what will happen. And I realized that there are these beautiful moments in my life that I never, earlier on, I didn't give it a second thought, right? And you, over a period of time, you start developing a storytelling lens. It's not easy, but if you keep at it, you will develop that storytelling lens. One more thing happens when you start writing this ना, एक के बाद एक chain of memories आपको आती रहती है वापस. Right now, I'm thinking about Freco. As I'm writing that, I think of another dog who I fell in love with. That also gets on the list. You will soon realize that you have forgotten so much from your childhood and youth that you would think that this meant a lot to me at that point of time. Yesterday, someone was talking about how coaches like telling their own story, right? But why only one story? इतनी सारी है और हर एक चीज के बारे में है. Isn't it? Right? So, guys, I'm guessing you might have already had a few. I know it is very tempting to just keep going. And so it's a beautiful experience. It's slightly hard experience also, but it is a beautiful experience, right? So continue this whenever you get the time. How many of you realize that you have discovered a way to document your life? Have you documented your life so far? Start today. Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. How many of you realize that you will never run out of stories to tell your children, grandchildren, and if everything goes right, even your great grandchildren? Yeah, why not? How many of you will do this every day? Invest 5 minutes. Fantastic. I'm hoping that even the people who did not raise their hands will do it. But let me be brutally honest, in the spirit of Karthik, being brutally honest, most of you will not do this. In fact, you will start and slowly will fizzle out. Because unfortunately, all of us, it's not just you, it's not at all just you, it's me as well. This is something that is sadly lacking in the world today. Two things. One is commitment, and the other is faith. You lack the commitment to sit down every day for 5 minutes and actually document your life. It sounds crazy now that you can't give 5 minutes for your own life that maybe will change your life completely, but chances are that you won't. The second thing is that you will have challenges with faith, because this doesn't come instantly and it didn't happen with me either. Let's be honest with that. मतलब मैं जादूगर नहीं हूँ, ना ही भगवान हूँ. गुरु तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं हूँ. Okay, let's make that clear. So you will not find the words. Sometimes the memory will trigger, but you will not know how to express it. And this is common occurrence, but just keep going, right? Another thing will happen with you, especially if you keep this commitment and faith, is you will not have to struggle with something in the marketing domain which is called a personal brand. कितने लोगों ने इसके बारे में सुना है? पर्सनल ब्रांड बनाओ, पर्सनल ब्रांड बनाओ. बनानी है, कंटेंट लिखते जाना है, लिखो, मजा आएगा. Okay. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So the basis of building a personal brand is actually based in two things. It's an oversimplification, but still, let me just break it down for you. Number one is that if you can provide value for people. Now you're in Sagar's community. पूछना मत value generate कैसा करना है, ठीक है? ना कटाओगे. मेरा भी, उनका भी. Okay? Value generate करने आता है ना? Let me hear a resounding yes. Wow. I'm not so sure anymore.
Yes.
I'm fantastic. Number two, the thing that can help you build a personal brand, which actually should be number one, is that people need to like you. And how do you do that? You need to resonate with them. You need to be relatable with them. And what better way to do that than to tell your stories? Because let's be honest, stories will give people feelings, emotions, thoughts, beliefs, and you'll create a shared experience. Won't you? Yeah. Like, you'll get that, ये बंदा मेरे जैसा है, ये भी struggle ही कर रहा है. So, if you really wish to build your personal brands, try sharing your stories. Let me give you an example. ये सब कर लिया, ज़्यादा नहीं है, ये भी कर लिया. So these are some of the stories that I took from the Excel sheet and used on LinkedIn. The first one is about me being a berozgar vyapari. Second one is basically about Mother's Day and basically literally thanking my mother for everything that she has done for me. Third one is about my father. Fourth one is about this little paraplegic dog who knows how to be happy despite everything. उसको तो पता ही नहीं कि उसके पैर नहीं है, तो full speed में भागती रहती है. She's there in the family. She's my sister's dog. And the fourth one is about the love of my life. So this is a story, you can see it on LinkedIn. It talks about how 7 years ago I was completely distressed, not knowing what to do. And I came back home and basically I asked my wife, जॉब छोड़ दो क्या? मैं गैम्बलिंग काइंड बिल्कुल भी नहीं, पर मैंने पूछ लिया, हिम्मत कर ली. एंड द नेक्स्ट मोमेंट शी टेक्स माई लैपटॉप. हाँ, मैं रेजिग्नेशन लिखती हूँ ना. So I wrote that story of what it means to have support. This is a story of support, right? And you have all of these stories. You can learn from your stories about different things, including, I have a list over here, so maybe you can like write it down, but since we are like very low on time, you can share your vulnerabilities. You can share a little bit about a little part of yourself, right? Everything from what it means to win, what it means to fail, be happy, resilient, proud, graceful, passionate, purposeful, loving, shameful, kind, resourceful, crazy, grateful, lazy, comfortable, uncomfortable, guilty, having self-doubt, never giving up, showing up consistently, owning your power. The list never ends. सबके बारे में ये लिख सकते हो कि नहीं?
Yes.
All your stories have this, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
So go for it. Make your mark. Write innumerable stories. Even when you're 100 years old, पकड़ा लो लोगों को stories से. पकड़ा लो. So the next time someone asks or says something like, यार मुझे पता ही नहीं मैंने last Friday क्या किया था. Or they'll come to you and say, यार 2024 ऐसे ही निकल गया ना. Or they'll see something like, वक्त बीत गया यार, time flies. You will smile, knowing that your time has not sped up. It has actually slowed down because you've lived this memory more than once. Yes?
Yes.
So write your stories, guys. Build your personal brands. Personal brands, तो ठीक है, it's a consequence, but this is all about like finding yourself, and there is no better place to find yourself than in your past, right? So you know this, that you're greater than you know already, but you are also more loving, more kind, more powerful, so many other different emotions, maybe sometimes more lazy also, maybe uncomfortable also, regretful as well, right? Put them down in your stories because these are your stories. So as a final note, हर दिन जीते रहो, छोटी छोटी कहानी लिखते रहो. Thank you so much.
Standing ovation to Amit. Once again, everybody.